It's been more than 18 months since Virgin Money last offered a bank switching deal. And those kind of offers were like free wine, cash back on spending, all sorts of random things, very different to the normal cash offers that the other banks have been providing. We'll say it's been a long time, but there is now a new offer. And again, it's a different kind of offer. This one is offering 10% interest on your savings, which sounds amazing. I'll take you through whether it's actually worth your while. Now, over at becleveryourcash.com, I've written a full analysis with all the details on there. So again, after you've watched this, you can click through and read that again if you need more info. But fundamentally, what is this deal? This deal, 10% interest, a bonus interest for a year. Now, this is only on the first £1,000 you have saved in the account. And that means that it is 10%, not gross 10%, because if you have the full £1,000, AER, the annual equivalent rate, is when the interest itself is compounded, which means that you earn interest on the interest and on the interest. So if you have the full £1,000 in there, then obviously the interest gets paid into your account, which happens at the end of every month, but that won't be earning that rate of interest. So this is just 10%. So basically, if you have the full £1,000 in there for a year, you will get £100 in interest in total. Now, that interest you do earn, obviously you can withdraw it every single month and put it into another account, paying more money, which will then generate more income as well. But technically, this is just 10%. But you also, so this is 10% bonus, because there's already 2% interest paying on this account anyway on that first £1,000. So technically, you're getting a rate of 12% for a year on a balance of up to £1,000. Obviously, below £1,000, you actually get a slightly higher rate, about 12.5, something like that, when you add in those other bits. But £1,000, 12%. So basically, that means you'll get 120 quid from this account after 12 months. Now, the start date for that interest isn't straight away. You won't actually start earning the interest until the 1st of July 2024, and then it goes all the way around to the 30th of June 2025. So this is a switch where you're going to have to keep the account open for a long time to get all that money, to get that full 120 quid. But that's not bad, right? 120 quid is pretty decent. There's a way to boost this slightly, which I'll come back to in a minute. I'll also talk to you a little bit about whether you are really actually getting 120 quid. But that's what the offer is, okay? Up to £120 in interest over 12 months. Now, who can get this? Well, if you're an existing customer, sadly, you will not be able to get this. But as long as you did not have a Virgin M, an M Plus, or a Club M current account prior to the 30th of April 2024, so you could have had one in the past and closed it, as long as it was been gone before the end of April, then you will be able to get this. So it's not just brand new customers, it's previous customers who can get this. And technically, if you do have a different current account with Virgin Money, and there might be some older ones you've got there, then you will be able to do this as well. It's explicitly about those three accounts, the M Plus, and the Club M. So assuming you don't have any of those, how do you go about getting this bonus? Well, you have to open up one of those three accounts. Now, the basic account, the M account, is a basic account for people who have a low credit score. So that means this switching deal could be open to people with low credit scores, which is good. But for most people, the account you're going to go for is the M Plus. This is the one which a few years ago was one of my top recommendations because it paid the amazing rate of 1% on interest, which was head and shoulders above everywhere else. And then it went up a little bit as well. So it was good for a while. It's not been great for a few years, but that's probably the one that you're going to go for. It's completely fee-free, no charges. You also can use it overseas with no charge. So it's not necessarily a bad account, but not necessarily an amazing account, but that's the one I think most of you will be going for. Some of you might want to look at the Club M current account. The Club M current account is for an extra fee every month, which I think is sort of 10 or 12 quid. I can't remember off the top of my head right now. You also get, I think it's £12.50 actually. You get travel insurance, gadget insurance, breakdown cover, which is actually very competitive with the packaged accounts come into play. It's probably one of the most affordable, if not the cheapest one for worldwide travel insurance. So for some of you, if you need all those policies, you might want to look at the Club M, but most people, it's just the M Plus current account. So you open up one of these as a brand new customer. You then need to do a full bank switch from a different bank. So you have to do that. As you know, with bank switching already, I've covered it in more detail on becleveryourcash.com, on the YouTube channel, and previously on the podcast, exactly how bank switching works. So I won't go over that again now, but a full switch from a different bank, which means that old bank account will close down. And you also need to have switch, as part of that switch, transfer over 2 direct debits, which then have to be paid out of the account. And all that stuff needs to be done by middle of June, by late June 2024. So the switch process itself, the transfer over, all of that, you've got until late June to do this. Do all of that. They'll check if you've met the criteria. And then, as long as you've got money in your account from the 1st of July onwards, you'll start getting that extra 10% interest as well as that underlying 2% interest. So a really simple one to do. You don't have to do too much. Now, quick one here. If you don't have any direct debits on your account you have right now, which you're going to be switching from, don't forget I've covered in detail some quick and fast direct debits that you can set up, which will be active on your account within days, if not weeks, and they can be there and you can switch over no problem. That's useful if you don't currently have available direct debits on the account you want to get rid of. Now, there is one another important deadline, obviously that late June deadline for doing the switch and stuff, but this offer itself is only running from the 1st of May to the 30th of May. So you've only got this month in order to open up that account. That account has to be opened by that date, and the other things, the switch, you've got another sort of 3 or 4 weeks at least after that. So the offer sounds quite good. I told you there was a way to maybe get a little bit more money from this, and this is to open the account in the first place via Snoop. Snoop is a cash, like a banking app. You can connect your different current accounts. You can analyze your spending and things like that. It's not bad to have it. Definitely give it a go. Now, if you sign up for Snoop for the first time via a link that we've got over at becleverwithyourcash.com, head over there and search for it. It will appear. Or go to the full analysis we've got of this article. The link's there as well. You can get a £5 Amazon voucher when you first sign up. And then within the Snoop app, you also can find a £30 Amazon voucher for opening up the Virgin Money M Plus account via them. So potentially do both of those. That's 35 quid you get in total for opening Snoop and applying for Virgin Money and connecting that to Snoop. And then do the switch and do those things we've already gone through right now. And there's that £120 interest that you can get. But there's one more thing to talk about when it comes to this offer. And that's whether you're really getting £120 profit from this interest offer. Because unlike other switching deals where this money is coming from nowhere, you can't get that money at all in any other way. With this one, you can get a decent rate of interest with a different account. Now, yeah, you can't get a combined rate of 12%, but you can get easy access 5%, 5.1% variable. And if you want a fixed in locked rate, you can currently get 5.15% for a year on £1,000. Now, let's say you did the latter one, you put your grand into that 5.15% fixed account, you'd earn £51.50 over the year. So you've got to deduct that from the 120. So you look at what, £68 is the actual difference by putting your money in the switch deal versus putting it in the top paying fixed rate account. Now, when you then add in the money you might get from going via Snoop, you're still going to get more than 100 quid profit from this. But just putting it in perspective that, you know, it sounds good, but it isn't as good as some of the other switching deals out there. So if you're looking to do just one switch, you're not someone who's switching, I wouldn't go for this. I would hold fast and wait and see. We're about to see more switching deals, paying more money, which don't require you to lose out on interest elsewhere, and wait for that. If you're someone who switches all the time, maybe you want to hold off as well and see if Virgin Money do come back with more offers later on. As I said at the top, they have done things like free bottles of wine, Virgin points, all sorts of different things which might be worth more overall. But I'll leave that up to you to make the decision. Remember, more information over at becleverwithyourcash.com/banks on this and all other bank switching deals. My name's Andy Webb. Thanks so much for watching. Check out these videos here for more ways to make the most of your money.